Greetings, this video is for Stacey and I'm going to show you how to actually do the basic DuMe spell. Now there's a couple of ways that you can use DuMe candles, and one of them, for example, may be with one of these puppies. This is a classic black skull, and the spell involving this is with pins and needles and so forth. It's much more complex, but the DuMe candle itself, for a black arts candle, is extremely powerful too. You'll find many people that are in voodoo or hoodoo really shun away from using such a candle and will only use it as a last resort. So with that in mind, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, do you need to go to the extremity of using a DuMe candle on somebody? Is there another solution? So it's always better, and remember from my perspective, because I don't worry about karma, but psychologically, are you 100% ready to actually rid that person out of your mind and out of your life by cutting them with a DuMe candle? If the answer is yes, then don't worry about anything. Let's just crack on and get this done. But if you're worrying about this and that and what will happen, then don't do it. It's not the right candle. There's a ton of other stuff that you can be doing instead. Okay, that's it. So let's talk about using this candle. This is a standard style of candle for DuMing or causing harm, hurt, psychological injury to your enemies. You'll see in a lot of the Botanica stores that they'll have a place to write that person's name down. Now, some people will tell you that you write, for example, if you're cursing a whole family, you'd write each person's name in each of those spaces. Other people will say you write the target's name 9 times down here. And I say that you do whatever feels better to you when you're in state. There's also a spot up the top of the candle, these type of candles, where I like to circle and actually say what I want to do to the person. So this says problems, bad luck, sickness, poverty, failure, enemies, death, and then it says the same in Spanish. So up the top it says alleged open the doors to hell. So with that in mind, are we ready to open the doors to hell for this person? Well, why not? Let's crack on. So you can write, because if this is the style of DuMe candle you have, you can write the person's name 9 times down here. Right. With that being said, you could also write all over this candle like you would any type of glass encased candle, their date of birth, the things that you want happening to them, any type of sigils or symbols that you want to write over this. You can just go to town with this. The next thing you do is you get the stick and you can poke holes in your candle to make sure that when you put the oil and the herb inside, that it's got a little place to the candle will start to infuse with each other, and it'll have a lovely burn as it goes down. If you don't do that, you can buy, we dress some of our candles. So a dress candle will come to something like this with a plastic top, and it's already got the herb inside, it's already got the oil inside, and this has already been blessed with the intention and purpose. These type of candles will cost you probably 3 or 4 times the amount that a standard candle will cost, because it is already spiritually blessed. But I'm going to tell you today how you can already create one of them, right? So you can put a little bit of the DuMe powder on top of the candle. Now, if I've got into state already and I'm thinking about the purpose, the intention, I might even have some music on in the background where it's really just building up this intention in me, just to start raising that energy. And as I'm thinking about what I want done to the target, I'm going to be maybe putting a little bit of this herb in there. It's not really herb. This isn't herb. This is my It's my own DuMe powder, and it's got all sorts of things from, oh gosh, what did I put in this one? If I'm back in Australia and I'm making it, I use like funnel web spiders that are crushed up, redback spiders that are crushed up. I think I made this batch in Hawaii. I use man o' wars, arsenic, like the gopher dust, graveyard dirt, poppy seeds, peppers, everything that is absolutely toxic. This is what I put in this. And then when I make the oil, my process for making especially DuMe oil is pretty radical. After I create the oil, and I put it in a black box, and then I put it in a place where, some of my coven members laugh at me when I do this, but I either play heavy metal music at it for at least 3 months, or I put it where in a place that it's going to be like animals fighting, or there's going to be a lot of toxic energy, angry energy going into this oil. This is really important because we're setting the intention of the oil. Okay, so you're not just throwing oil in there. Every herb, every ingredient has a purpose, and you want the ingredient to take that action. So you're thinking about that as you're doing all of this, and you're thinking about how you want that poison that's in here, this arsenic, to actually infect the target. This is how angry you have to be when you're doing a DuMe spell. Then you'll get about a capful of the DuMe oil, and you'll put it into the top. I like to give my clients one of these to use when they're actually using my DuMe oil, because it is so toxic. So it's not like traditional hoodoo where you're going to use your fingers. It's toxic. Don't use your hands. And you're going to spread it around the top, and at the same time, while I would be listening to the music and getting in the state, and I'd just be cursing and thinking about what I want going on with that target. Okay. And remember, I've written all over the candle. I'd already maybe do a draft copy of my petition, but I would also write a petition, and in the petition I would write down the target's name 9 times, and if it was a DuMe candle to sort of separate a relationship or to remove one thing from another, I would write the other person's name 7 times under that, and then I would put at the bottom of the petition what I want the result to be. I could even touch the top of that, like, you know, each corner with the DuMe oil. Once again, not touching it with my hands. I fold it away from me because it is a petition done for baneful reasons. So I want that away from me. I don't want all of that DuMe coming towards me. I'm removing it away from me. And then what I do is I put it on top of my candle. That's all you have to do. Now, if you were working with a certain deity or so forth, or one of the lower, one of the, whoever you're working for, you could say a prayer to that, or call to or summon that deity or whichever power that you work with, or even the universal source energy, to hear your request that such and such deserves to have, no luck in life. They deserve to be taken away. If so be it. If it is up to the spiritual world to take away this person's X, Y, and Z, whatever you want, and light the candle. As you're lighting the candle, you might want to sit there and really meditate on that intention. Think about how your life will change if this DuMe happens to this person. If the result happens to the person, how will you feel? How will that improve your life? And so you really have to think about that and meditate on that. And when you feel like this is really congruent in your head, and then you can release it up to the universe, then so be it. You let it go, and you leave that candle burning until it completes. And that could be, generally these candles these days will take probably about 5 days actually. I've had some candles just, you know, if it burns too fast, that's not a good sign. If it burns too slow, that's not a good sign. And you, of course, at the end of the candle, you'll be reading the candle glass and see what happens to the candle glass. You know, if it's clear all the way down, like I'm burning 2 love candles here, can you see how clear that glass is from top to finish? Like it's not quite finished yet, but look how that clear. That is an amazing burn. There's no marks. It's so. What we say is that this petition, this request is accepted to the spiritual world. So we wouldn't need to light more candles after these candles. We'd say it's already been accepted. A lot of times the candles will come back completely black. That's when you might have to burn it again, or change the petition, or change the type of work you're doing, change it up a little bit. Maybe then you move on to one of the black skull candles, or you know, if it was a couple that you're trying to separate, then maybe move it on to one of the back-to-back black candles, and you know, try that. So remember, candle work, spiritual work is work, and so you do have to work it. Okay, now in full disclosure, because most of you out there don't have all the types of protection that I might have, and mainly because, you know, I do this every single day, and I do lots of other things to clear my energy, right? You at home probably don't do this, so I really feel like I need to tell you something else. What many spiritual workers will do is burn a white candle next to that black candle at the same time. And the reason for this is that really you don't want any of that negativity coming from that DuMe candle over to you. So that's why a lot of people will burn a white candle next to that, and you could even write a petition and put it under that white candle, you know, to protect you, and so on and so forth. The other thing that's really recommended is that you should do some cleansing after you do DuMe work yourself, because you don't want, the thought behind that is that you want to cleanse your aura. You don't want any of that toxicity or the DuMe residual energy to be upon you. So after the candle is finished, after you finish doing the work, you'll have a spiritual bath. I've done videos on that before. Some who do, or botanicas will recommend that you use a type of bath wash or the colognes. Others will recommend, and I do too, that you actually get a spiritual soap. This is a Florida water soap. And what you do, it's actually a spiritual bath, and you're going to wash yourself all over and just rid yourself of all that residual hexing and cursing that you've so done. And that's it. Let it go. Let it go after you do that. You've done the spiritual work. Otherwise, really, you're just cursing yourself if you hold on to that. If the candle comes back and you're not happy with the way it burned, then you do another one. And maybe you need to do this, especially if you were really cursing someone that's screwing you over and you want them to stop, or, you know, to not interfere so much. You're going to keep burning these candles. So when one finishes, you'll take, I like to take an incense stick. And so if that is burnt right down to the bottom, and then I'm burning another candle behind it that's starting, I will go down, I'll light the candle with the incense, and then I'll start the new candle with the same flame. I'll transfer it over to the next candle. So, okay, that is basically the basics of doing this DuMe candle work. I wish you well. And do it with confidence, and do it because you really believe that it needs to get done. Bye for now.